So it was really fun watching it in this room because I sort of don't remember how funny it plays.
Oh, yay!
There was so much laughing, and so I wondered maybe we could start by talking about like balancing that tone of like, because it also like makes me cry. You know, were there tears in the house tonight? I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. Like with the humor, I feel a lot of it is. Let's see. Like, because everything was so inspired by romantic comedy humor, you know, of the 80s and everything. And I showed Pris that, and I showed Chris that. Everything was kind of made for. I gave you a lot of references with like Winona Ryder and stuff. Like we wanted that tone of like kind of, you know, bitchy punk girl, you know, but like has a heart of gold if you really got to know her. So that was. And I just like that humor. It makes me happy, and that's kind of how I like wrote the script with Chris. You know, just like kind of that dialogue is what came out. You know, just kind of raw writing. So I think that's what it is. It was just like naturally what was there.
I also think that, I mean, yeah, there's just a ton of heart in it. I mean, every single line is, you feel something. Like, I don't know, the film itself is super fun. It moves really quickly.
Yeah, we had fun making it, so I feel like you feel
making
that.
it, and I think,
to get like really actory about it, like sometimes when you're doing like comedy, if you like don't play it for comedy, that's when it's really funny.
You're right.
So, like bringing that like genuine honesty to the role, I feel like it's like a really compelling to folks. Do you know what I mean?
You killed it. You killed it. This is our friendship, so and that's why I like working with friends. Like the energy of the friendship comes out.
Yeah, you feel it in the movie too. So. Chris, like, what attracted you to Louise, and like, you know, I mean, Lindsay says that she told you Winona. Like, what else did you bring that maybe you weren't told to bring to it? Yeah, what did you bring? I don't know about.
Told.
Your secrets. Tell me your secrets.
I don't know, but I think a lot of it was very collaborative. I mean, like, we would always talk about like every single line.
Yeah.
Talk about what it needed to sound like.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if my directing's like, did I act out the lines and then like you brought yours, or I don't remember.
sometimes if I wasn't getting it, you just parrot it and I would just mimic it.
And I think I think that's fine, because like when I cast, I cast based on the person. Like I knew Chris was going to do a great job, so I just, you know, because I think, yeah, I talked about this before where like I had you in mind for Jane, and we actually have Jane here tonight as well, Monica Panzarino right over there. There she is, the Lilin, so the Queen Lilin. So,
and she fits that so well, right?
like Monica was, I don't know if Monica was saying anything, but she like what, like I guess you weren't really into acting, but I was just like, Monica's like one of my best friends in grad school, and I'm like I really want you on set and hang out with me, and I think you'd be good in this part. So
Yeah, we had tons of fun, that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
tons of fun. So.
And
And
so,
she came with a dog.
that little dog.
That was all Monica. So Poochie, rest in peace, Poochie. Yeah, she was dog sitting, and you know, the film school tells you like the big rules: stay away from children and animals. But we had no children, but we had animals, and it was worth it. Yeah, Poochie knew was up.
Poochie brings a nice touch.
Yeah, bring calm to the set.
So since a lot of this was going to be green screen and you were going to be acting that way, like I wondered if you also brought sort of imagery that you were like, this is what it will look like, you know, and showed it to Pris and the rest of the cast.
Definitely Beetlejuice and like early Tim Burton, you know, Stephen Sayadian, who did Cafe Flesh and just Caligari, the unofficial sequel to Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, like that kind of German expressionist 80s, you know, was it Memphis style, I guess. So I like that stuff, and I love the shot on video horror, and I think like when me and Pris were talking, I feel like when I showed you Smithereens, something clicked, or like it was like I just remember sharing that movie with you, and I don't know if you liked it or not, but I felt like that was a big one we, you know, talked about for movies.
Well, I also think, you know, I mean, it's an incredibly vibrant, complex, visually complex world, but for Louise and everybody else living in it, it's totally normal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
in a way, I kind of have to like ignore that it's, neon green zebra print.
Yeah, it's just green screen in the meantime.
In the
so.
meantime, yeah.
But did you have any idea it would look like this, Pris? Like when
I
you were,
think, I think you had quite a
hints.
few of the miniatures either ready,
Mm-hmm.
made
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, the
So-
adult cinema one especially.
Yeah, the adult cinema one we'd already kind of seen, so I could sort of just like guess.
Mhm.
But then again, I wasn't acting with a green screen character. It was like fully formed, fleshy human beings. I think that would have been a problem.
Fully fleshy human beings.
With the meat parts.
Mm-hmm. Crunchy ones.
And so if you haven't read the Screen Slate interview, you could read some of that because we go over a lot of stuff there. But maybe we can kind of touch on some things about the look of the movie because like I get really stuck on this detail of like how you harvested your materials. So if you could kind of talk us through some of that.
Well, it's dead bodies is a secret. Yeah, but well, I was at SAC because we shot in the summer. So I'd been there for my first year, like kind of finalizing the script, and we shot the Garden of Eden scene. And Monica back there can attest to this too, because I took over one of the studio floors to kind of create the cemetery scene and just any other sets like in the bar, the table they're on that's like kind of checkerboard is just a knocked over filing cabinet painted. So it's like everyone's leftover art garbage that they left because they were either graduating or didn't care anymore and they just left it. So I took as much as I could. It's a lot of tempera paint, and a lot of the neons come from that, and just old fabric. I recycle. And even in my next movie, you'll see a lot of the same fabrics if you notice them because I like to reuse a lot of the same stuff. So yeah, it's just other people's garbage. And also a special shout out to Monica for letting me borrow her ruler a lot. So yeah.
And what about Louise's look? Even because we know we're going for Louise Brooks, so like, did you come there with your hair just like that, or was that like,
Oh, yeah. What did we had picture references. I know like Rita Pavone was a really big influence, but we wanted it to have sort of something a little less 70s.
Yeah, like a mix of 1920s. Like I didn't want the straight flapper hair, and then Pris brought pictures and everything. Got her hair dyed black, but it was
I mean, my hair was like down. It was like blonde down to here.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, you can see
I
another.
think in my mind,
movies
like
of Pris.
it's like you just showed up like that, so it's hard to
Oh no,
imagine.
it was
a big
very
deal.
meticulously talked about. Like there was
Mhm.
nothing that I was just gonna show up and they're like, why do you have that?
Yeah.
For the entire month you have that?
Mhm.
So I think it was really important for us all to be on the same page.
Oh yeah, and our dress rehearsal, which was like the day before actually shooting, like I had brought clothes and you had bought some clothes, like the 1920s outfit, like.
Yeah, I had my aunt make it.
Oh, nice.
I did not, and I just said, can you make this dress? And I won't tell you what it's for.
Good. I like it. It worked out.
Yeah.
But like my favorite outfit of hers is like the striped shirt and the suspenders and the short hair. And honestly, that's like the look I wish I could pull off, and that is why it is the way it is. And the horror movie t-shirts are very much part of that. So, but yeah, I just love that look, and that was like the Winona Ryder, like kind of. She looks more like Girl Interrupted in that part.
Didn't I
Yeah.
have like a leather jacket?
Yeah. Well, you had like a
It's
a pleather.
I was
Red and you look like Speed Racer a little
No, I
bit.
love that. I love that. That was
Yeah.
my favorite, I think.
Yeah, the costumes was fun.
Yeah, the costumes are all very good. And maybe you can talk about the music because you had a lot of local bands or bands of friends, and then like some original songs.
Well, like I talked about in the Screen Slate interview a little bit, but the opening song "Shadows Connected to the Light" was like not the original intended song, but it worked out for the best because the original song was like someone. It was like this operatic kind of singer I really liked. And I was planning to put all her music in the movie, like the entire soundtrack. And it just like, I showed her the Garden of Eden scene and she said it was too sexual, so she didn't want her music part of it. So, and it all worked out for the best because I got to collage all my other friends' music, which I thought was way better and worked for it, like with the messiness of it, the entire movie.
Yeah,
So,
I think it works perfect.
yeah. And the next movie's gonna be like that too, all friend music, a lot of New York bands and everything.
And
so.
very sexual.
And it's sexual music.
Yeah, sex isn't bad. It's just
Sex is great.
Yeah.
This movie's about great sex. Even if it kills you.
Yeah. Well, I want to see if anyone out there has questions, because you know, you've got some friends, you've got some strangers, maybe.
Yeah, shout out to Bad Movie Night peeps. Hello. We have a Twitch Bad Movie Night. We watch bad movies together, and it's like
They may have never known that this
Yeah.
is what Lindsay did. So
I did want to say, I can't thank you all enough for coming out tonight. Like, this
Thank
is
you.
10 years old.
yeah.
I know, we can't believe it.
What's so special about it?
It was such a special experience because it wasn't just like hired guns that showed up every day. It was like your classmates.
Yeah,
That's
friends.
what I see. And
Yeah, this was
it
a
was
school movie, like
summer
a
camp.
you know,
every day.
school
that's I
project.
hear summer camp a lot with
Yeah.
the film sets, which
Yeah.
I'm for. It's a chaotic summer camp, you know. But
But yeah, I can't thank all those kids enough because they were all incredible artists, but also just incredible people to be around for that entire month. So like, I mean, not only does it have a lot of heart in front of it, it also had a lot behind it. So
Aw.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
again, it really is really touching to have you guys all here. It means a lot. So
Yeah, it felt good in the room.
thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to thank me for anything.
We also have an assistant director here, B. Oh no! Oops.
But B was
So,
here, yes.
and one of our cinematographers, Mikey, he helped me with the green screen, taught me all about green screen. Yeah, like right over there. So yeah, lots of fun friends in the audience.
Question? Oh, Erin, right there.
I just, why did you have My Demon Lover at the top of the pile?
Because it's the most important movie.
I kept noticing, like, every time you had the VHS tapes, there's, you know, you're,
That was
like,
always
looking for the titles, and that one was the one that's in, like, every
It was
scene.
always-
That is one of the biggest
Top of the pile.
inspirations for this movie. I used to work at a Salvation Army, and that's where I found it. And I saw that in Rockula. You know, me and Chris were roommates at the time, so we watched that movie a lot together. It's one of my favorites. So that is why it is on top all the time. And it warms my heart that people noticed.
So yeah, that's why I would spend it, like before we would shoot, like have the stack and then you specifically put them in priority. So that was very considered.
Yeah,
I figured that everything was, like, styled down to, I mean, even, like, posters, and, you know, what t-shirt someone's gonna wear in what scene.
That was how I had my life in middle school with all the horror movie posters. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
pretty much like an ode to my middle school self. you
Was
know.
this coming from your personal archive, or did you have to source
Our friend
materials?
Danny G,
Okay.
who also was one of the assistant directors, and he did the song that you hear, the cemetery song in the punk show.
Mhm.
So it was his collection, a lot of the VHS
okay.
and posters, and some of mine. So it was like a mix of people who had the shit. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't you have like a basket case shirt or something? There was like
Yeah,
a
that was
shirt.
Danny's. All the good shirts were Danny's.
Don't get anything on it.
I'll tell you one thing. No one's ever heard this, but like, cause you know, Pris and Chris lived with me during the shoot in Pilsen, and that was the set you saw, her apartment and everything. That was my bedroom. It looked like that normally anyway. And what is it? I remember one time Danny came over, you know, when we were shooting, and one of the VHS, someone dropped it and stepped on it, and he was so tortured, and I still feel guilty. I know!
What was the movie? What
I
was-
don't even
You don't
remember.
remember?
It was one of his, and I was just like, I'm a bad person. So
It
those
was like
are the
no VHS tapes were harmed in the making, and you can't say that at the end of this movie.
no
Yeah.
VHS tapes were harmed, and it was my fault. I'm responsible. So, and I'm sorry. Cancel me if you want.
More questions from out there? Come on. You got, okay, go ahead, you.
Simple question follow up, like how did it work with clearances for all of those like posters?
Clearances. Get rights for posters,
Well,
right?
Well, I think Pandora's Box is public domain, and it's not. Oh well.
Yeah.
What else? The only like Night of the Living Dead I use a lot. That's public domain. So pretty much all my references, Nosferatu and everything, like I was like, if this is public domain, it's going in. So Carnival of Souls, and the ones I worry about most. There's that song in the beginning after she, kills the first guy, and it's like the Louise song. That's from like the late 1920s, could be public domain. I am not good at that shit, so I don't know.
Someone's
I
ancestor
try to
is
err on
gonna come
caution.
for you, yeah.
Yeah, well, like, it's funny because I have it on YouTube as like a private link, and of course YouTube will let you know like what copyright music, like this is copyright, this is copyright. And a lot of it is my own friend's own music now. So, but which is fine. Like I know I have permission. I had signed releases. So when we cross the line of distribution again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I saw another question, okay, Kevin.
I just really responded to the this is ass and titties for people with taste. And I feel like this movie is that, and I was wondering if was there a moment where you thought of that line, or like, is there a history behind? Because I just feel like that is lightning in a bottle.
It's the thing that grabs you right away. I mean,
That's good. Well, that was one of the first scenes I wrote.
Yeah.
So. Yes, thank you. What is it? That, well, because Louise and her boss Michael is based off of my actual friend Michael. I worked at a movie theater with him when I was a teenager, so that was our rapport, you know, and it still is to this day. It's very like I hate you, I love you kind of thing. So I was just thinking like, what is it like when me and Michael talk, and that is something we would definitely say to each other. So I was like, that's the thing, like the relationships are based off of actual real people, you know, like Jane was written before I knew Monica, but like I you know, leaned into Monica. So, and
In terms of the nudity.
yeah.
You're welcome. Sorry.
So stupid and cheap, sorry.
You were nude.
I was.
No body doubles or anything.
Something that I mean, like, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. But
Yeah, you got
also every time I would try to like coworkers at my day job, when I tell them that there's screenings, I'm like, you know, content warning. You see my tasteful nudes. And that's in a way, it's not like these TV titties we see now. It's just real different. It's just real different. Is it ass and titties for people?
I'm naked too.
Yeah, did you guys recognize Lindsay as the Lillian sacrifice or whatever?
That was my real period, thank you.
And was I can't remember, there's a variety of movies where I've heard about directors getting naked. Was that your way of being like, I have other people naked in my movie, I am myself willing to be
Yeah, it
naked.
was totally like, I want to make everyone else comfortable. And it was definitely nerve-wracking for me, you know, because sure, these guys haven't seen me naked. So.
Although I will say, and something that I thought was really sweet, is because it was a bunch of like classmates and whatever it was, on the day that I needed to be nude.
I was going to say,
I needed to be nude.
Yes.
And we needed like skeleton crew. We just needed a handful of people.
Yeah, like
to
3
run
people,
things.
I think.
But you and Casey went out to go do something as
Smoke.
a ruse, probably as a ruse though. And then
Oh, I didn't know about it. It was a surprise to me too.
so they come in to make me feel better, but I just thought it was funny. Everyone is naked on set.
Yeah, in their outfits of like
Right, so
the
like
booze.
boom, it's just like
Yeah,
and then like somebody else has like a hat on, but they're directing.
Yes, with the belt, but they're nude.
No, but the pants, no pants. And it was just really beautiful.
I didn't know about it. It was a
It came from a
surprise.
very like gentle, tender place.
I love that detail, that's really great.
Yeah.
Was there another question back there somewhere? Go ahead.
I just wanted, first of all, this was terrific, thank
Thank
you. Just wanted to go back to the look of the film, which is so distinctive, this like,
Thank you.
you know, Electroclash CD-ROM game, magical love, like, what was it, creating that, you know, on the set, I'd just love to hear more about that, like, what was it, you know, besides the production, getting the stuff and the materials, like, what did it look like in your head? What did it look like on the day? Like, how did you make this come together in your camera?
I guess like Liquid Sky was a big aesthetic like influence.
Oh,
Yeah, the little mini Liquid Sky poster is a big deal to people. So, and a lot of it was like what was available. Like when it comes to like the checkerboardness, like I'm a humongous early Tim Burton fan. Like you know, like it's disgusting. So you know, I love his checkerboard stuff. So I'm not like trying to rip him off or anything, but I'm trying to do like what I wanted this to be like my Edward Scissorhands because that's my favorite movie. You know. So I wanted it to feel very stylized in that way. And Beetlejuice was great too, of course. I want to marry him still.
I think this is really interesting, sort of almost strict adherence to the look in terms of like the scenes where we had a lot of people in one scene. everybody's very cohesive looking, that was very on purpose.
Yeah, like we did the makeup, make sure everyone
Right,
looks
like
good.
makeup had to be a very specific kind of way.
We
and-
pull up Liquid Sky pictures.
Right,
so.
and it'd be like, just like you're kind of trying to do a period piece, except the period doesn't really exist.
That's exactly it. Same with Edward Scissorhands, like they have a VCR in the 70s or well, I guess they would, or the 60s. I don't know what era it is.
Right.
Fucking weird world.
But yeah, it's sort of like adhering to a period that isn't quite anywhere. So, but I think like by having a very kind of like, it is this, it is not this, was very helpful in terms of us as actors who had to just do it in front of a blank screen with a filing cabinet,
Yeah, I feel like when we got you guys into costume too,
It
that
definitely
helped.
helped,
Yeah,
yeah, for
you,
sure.
you had the thing and you could look at yourself and feel
You
that.
could exist independent of what was going on behind us.
Yeah.
Or not.
Well, also with the green screen, like in the adult cinema video store, you have like the desk. So it's like that's the physical thing you could look at that kind of gives you a hint of what it's going to look like.
Or the
So.
TVs that were painted.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of broken TVs.
Yeah.
They've been donated. So.
Any other questions out there? Back row.
Is there any other way to see this currently?
Yes, is there any other way to see this?
Well, the good thing about not having any distribution yet is that I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. So I brought some this screening only, not fancy, regular kind of DVDs to sell for like, I think 15 I wrote on there. And I brought some posters I could sell for 10, and all the proceeds are gonna go to Ukraine. So, yeah, so I have about like, I think 20 DVDs and 20 posters. So if anyone wants some, come to me.
But is it, it's also on True Indie, right? Is it still on True Indie?
No, well, that was the thing, it's not distributed anymore, because the one distribution,
The deadline.
well, oh no, she just stopped making it. It just fell apart. As unfortunately a lot of indie stuff does, like, because I've had distribution offers, but like nothing feels right, or the ones I have gone through fall apart. So, tell your friends.
Can people rent it like through your Vimeo or anything? Like, do you
I've
have-
actually been thinking of
Okay.
getting,
I
like, the
think
thing
that's
is,
a
it's
way.
like, it costs money to have it, like, available to
Oh,
rent
okay.
and everything, so it's like, I haven't been wanting to do it unless people were actually interested in
Yeah,
seeing
because
it.
someone was
They are.
asking me who couldn't make it tonight, like, how do I watch this? And I was like, I think maybe your Vimeo.
I was gonna say, I have like a sheet I can put if anyone wants to give me their email, and I can like give you updates, as I, find a distribution situation, or I might, yeah,
Which is a good segue to talk about what you're doing next, because
Yeah.
we're gonna watch a trailer. So
Yeah, I almost forgot.
Do you wanna set it up and we'll watch the trailer for what you
Yeah.
got coming up next?
Okay, next up is Killer Makeover, so.
Killer Makeover.
Wait, what do I do? What?
What you're about to witness
You do it.
is a new Pandora's Box Productions joint thing. Sorry, whatever it's called. It's great. It's called Killer Makeover.
It's Killer Makeover, and it's about a beautician who gets cursed so that everyone she puts makeup on dies.
People
Yeah, you'll see.
You're gonna
Yeah.
see them. It's
Yeah.
gonna be great. And I'm
All right,
excited.
so if we're ready, if projection's ready,
How's
we will
Monica?
roll the trailer for Killer Makeover.
Yeah.
So how soon is the question? How
Oh man, so we started filming that at the end of 2015 when Obama was still in office. So it's gonna be done soon. It's because this script was like much bigger than Video Diary, like much more locations and characters, and just like the universe exploded pretty much. So everything's taken a lot longer, but like I think it's gonna be another 6 months before we start sending it to festivals. So yeah, we're working on the sound, and like there's about 40 sets in it, and I'm on the last like 10.
Wow.
So thank you. So,
So,
yeah.
so what lessons from Video Diary did you take into this that maybe made your life easier, or?
I didn't learn
you know?
shit. like pretty much nothing. I have a problem. So because we didn't have as much money as we did on Video Diary. We didn't raise as much, and I put my money in, and so did our friends and everything. But it's just wasn't prepared for what we were getting into. But it's also like a whole new aesthetic, and that's really what's kind of been taking the longest, is trying to figure out how I wanted that to look, and it's much more anime inspired, like 90s anime and everything. So
Well, I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for being here. Do you want to go hang out in the bar and people can buy DVDs from you or talk to you more or
That's cool
whatever?
with me.
Yeah. So if you want to go hang out upstairs. Thank you so much for being here. See you in another 10 years.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. That's when Willow comes out.